Hello students, you are most welcome again in the new lecture of biology. Here today we are going to discuss from the control and coordination chapter the central nervous system. So children, you already know that the central nervous system on your screen you can see very well that it is showing the two portions, that is the brain as well as a spinal cord. So children, let us see what does our central nervous system mean. So whatever the central nervous system is there, children, the central nervous system is containing brain and spinal cord. So the central nervous system comprises and contains brain and spinal cord. So like a computer is having a CPU, central processing unit. Same way in our body, the processing unit is there. The processing unit is the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain and spinal cord are the processing units of our body. As like a computer CPU, the brain and spinal cord are the processing units for our body. Okay children, so let us talk about the brain. So you can see very well whatever the brain is there, brain is located in head. Okay, you can see this diagram here which I am marking. This head, the head is having the bony skull. Here this portion is having the bony skull, and within the bony skull the brain is situated in the cranium. Here this portion is called as cranium. Here this portion is called as cranium. Okay, this portion is cranium. You can see the brain is surrounded by the bony skull called as cranium and three membranes called as meninges. Here around the brain, the three meninges layers are also there. How many layers of meninges? Three meninges layers are also there. Okay, how many layers? Three meninges layers are there. If you can see here, the meninges layer, these are there. Here you can see 1 and 2 here, and the third one is here. The three meninges layer are there, and around the outer one is made up of bone, that is cranium. Okay, so lot of protection is there. For our brain. Brain is surrounded by a bony skull called as cranium and three meninges layers. Three membrane layers. The meninges is made up of three membranes. Three layers of meninges are there. Okay, so the layer of meninges have cerebrospinal fluid. Suppose 1, 2, 3. Whatever these three layers are there. Here suppose this is the brain. Here suppose this is the brain. So here these are the layers of the meninges. In between the layers of the meninges, a fluid is there. Here in between them a fluid is there. This fluid is called as cerebrospinal fluid. In between the meninges a fluid is there. That fluid is called as cerebrospinal fluid. So in between the meninges cerebrospinal fluid is present. Hope it is clear. So the brain is surrounded by the cranium. Okay, the brain is surrounded by the cranium and three membranes of meninges, and in between meninges cerebrospinal fluid is there. This cerebrospinal fluid is preventing the brain from any infection. It protects it from some infection, as well as it absorbs the shocks and pressure. Suppose from outside some shock is going to come, suppose some injury is going to come, that shock and external pressure is absorbed by these meninges layers as well as cranium. Hope it is clear. Now next let us talk about the parts of brain. See, the parts of brain, very interesting. Whatever the parts of brain are there, the parts of brain, they are forebrain. The parts of brain, they are forebrain, then midbrain, okay, then is hindbrain, So you can see here forebrain. Let us talk about the forebrain. What is forebrain? Forebrain is also called as cerebrum. This portion which you can see here, which I am marking over here, this full portion is called as cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum, and it is the largest part of the brain. You can see here already, you can see this is the largest part of the brain. This part of the brain is largest part of the brain. Here you can see in this part of brain, that is the forebrain cerebrum, lot of gray matter is present outside. What is gray matter? See children, we have seen the structure of neuron or the nerve cell. So whatever this cell body is there, whatever this portion is there, this forms gray matter. Cyton or the cell body or the cellular part of the neuron is forming the gray matter, and this is axon. This is forming the white matter. Axon forms white matter. Okay, so the gray matter means whatever this outer portion is there, this portion of the cerebrum is there. Here cyton, the cell bodies are appearing more and more in number. That is why this is showing the gray color. Gray matter is outside the gray matter is outside the cerebrum. Okay, so outer surface of the cerebrum is made up of gray matter. So let us talk about again. Cerebrum is having lot of gray matter, and inside surface is having white matter. Outer surface is having gray matter and inner surface is having white matter. So the gray matter is comprising of cytons. Gray matter is made up of cytons or cell bodies positioning at the top of the surface. Now children, you can see the cerebrum comprises of grooves and foldings. Here lot of folds are there. Here lot of wrinkles, grooves, folds are there. These grooves and foldings are called as gyri and sulci. They are called as gyri and sulci. These grooves are called as gyri and sulci. Hope it is clear. These gyri and sulci portion are clear. These, whatever the number of the grooves are there, number of the folds are there on the brain, that much person is regarded as intelligent. So gyri and sulci are related to intelligence. More gyri and sulci, more intelligent you are. And how you will develop more gyri and sulci? When you will do more studies, more exercise, more practice of the related thing, then only these gyri and sulci and these grooves will become more prominent, more prominent they will become. Okay, hope it is clear. Now the cerebrum comprises of grooves called as gyri and sulci. After that, the cerebrum controls thinking. This portion controls thinking. This portion controls thinking. It controls wisdom and intelligence. This portion controls your wisdom, intelligence. It controls your willpower, your firm determination. If you want to do something, this part of the brain will help. So develop this part of brain with the will, with wisdom, with intelligence, with thinking. This part also controls pain, pressure, emotion, okay, as well as the voluntary activities like walking, swimming, all these activities. The voluntary activities which you can control, the activities which you can control are controlled by the cerebrum, that is the forebrain. By the forebrain, that is the cerebrum. These portions are controlling your voluntary activities, wisdom, intelligence, pain, pressure, emotion, etc. Hope it is clear. Now let us talk about the midbrain. Whatever the midbrain is there, children, you can see this is the midbrain. This is the midbrain. This portion is midbrain. Okay, this is not having any further division. Means it is not a very special division. It is not having further division. It is situated above the hypothalamus. Okay, it is situated at the hypothalamic region. So above you can talk, or near to hypothalamus you can talk. So hypothalamus region is present near to the midbrain. And what is the activity controlled by the midbrain? See children, midbrain controls very quick activities. Like sometimes suppose somebody is calling you, you turn your head. That is controlled by midbrain. Something is coming into your eyes, your eyelids are closing and opening. That eyelid control is done by the midbrain. Your muscles, they are moving very frequently. Sometimes you are, suppose some fly is sitting on you and you instantly move your hand, your muscle of the hand is moving, that is done by the midbrain. So all these reflexes means without thinking the functions which you do, without thinking if you do any function, that is called as reflex. So that function is sometimes controlled, the quick actions, the quick movements are controlled by the midbrain. Hope it is clear. Now let us talk about the hindbrain. Hindbrain, you can see This portion is hindbrain. This portion is hindbrain. You can see very, very clearly. Let us talk about this portion, that is the hindbrain. Okay. So let us see. This is hindbrain. This portion is hindbrain. You can see here. We are going to talk about hindbrain. So hindbrain is containing whatever this portion is there. This portion is there. Let us talk about hindbrain is containing what portions. Let us talk about hindbrain is containing cerebellum. This is cerebellum. It is containing pons. This is pons. Okay. It is containing medulla oblongata. This brain stem. This is medulla oblongata. You can mark, children. You can mark and make the diagram, and you can draw it in the copies which you are having. So now let us talk about the cerebellum. We are not talking about cerebrum. We are not talking about cerebrum. Cerebrum we are not talking about. There is a difference between cerebrum and cerebellum. Both are different. So we are talking now about cerebellum. It is also called as the little brain. You can talk about this portion. This is little brain. This portion is little brain. And after cerebrum, after this region, this is the first largest part. This is the second largest part. Cerebellum is the second largest part. Okay. It is present at the back of the cerebrum. This is cerebrum. This is cerebrum. And this is cerebellum. This is cerebellum. So at the back of the cerebrum, cerebellum is there. At the back of the cerebrum, cerebellum is there. Okay. It has many furrows with gray matter outside. It has many furrows. Furrows you can see here. Furrows. Furrows means many gaps are there. You can see here, which you can see. These are very, very much gaps over here. Furrows are there with gray matter outside. Here a lot of gray matter is there. Gray matter is due to cyton or cell body of the neuron. Okay. Gray matter is due to cyton. So a lot of cytons are present in the outer portion. Okay. A lot of cytons are present. So it has many furrows with gray matter outside. Cerebellum is having lot of furrows with the gray matter outside. What is the function of cerebellum? It maintains preciseness. Suppose you are writing something. This preciseness is coming. You are knowing where to put a dot, where to make a line, how to make O, how to make L. This preciseness is coming due to the help of cerebellum. Okay. As well as cerebellum helps to balance your body. Your body is balancing. When you are walking, you can walk straight. When you are running, you can run properly. When you are swimming, you can swim properly. This body balancing is done by the cerebellum. Hope it is clear. Next, let us talk about pons varolii. So pons varolii is this portion. Here, this is the portion called as pons varolii. It is in the brain stem, that is in the medulla oblongata only. This pons varolii is there. It is underlying the cerebellum. Here you can see this is cerebellum. This is cerebellum. So it is underlying the cerebellum. Okay. This is underlying the cerebellum. It is somewhat below the cerebellum. And how it is? It is a bundle of fibers. So what is pons varolii? It is a fiber bundle. Pons varolii is bundle of fibers. It is a fiber bundle. It connects the hemispheres of cerebellum. This is cerebellum. I should mark it with some other color. This is cerebellum. So cerebellum is there. If you talk about cerebellum from this side, so if you talk about cerebellum, cerebellum is divided into two parts like this. So these two parts of the cerebellum, they are connected by the pons. Here this is pons. Okay, here this is pons, or totally you can call it as pons varolii. So pons varolii is connecting the hemispheres, two parts of the cerebellum. Okay, and it helps the muscle movement. Pons varolii helps in the muscle movement. Any muscle is moving in the body, that is done. Lot of muscles are there. Heart muscles, hand muscles, leg muscles, lot of muscles are there. This muscle movement is coordinated by the help of pons varolii. Next, let us talk about medulla oblongata. So what is medulla oblongata? It is the lowest part of the brain, lowermost part of the brain. This is medulla oblongata. This portion which I am marking here, this is medulla oblongata. Okay, this is medulla oblongata. This is medulla oblongata. So it is the brain stem. You can see it is like a stem, like a plant stem is there, like a plant stem is there. This is the stem of the plant. Same way, this portion is the stem of the brain. This is the stem of the brain. Okay, this is the stem of the brain. This portion is the stem of the brain. So whatever this portion is there, this portion is the stem of the brain, and it comprises white matter made up of axons. Okay, here white matter is outside. In this portion, the white matter is made up of axon. White matter is made up of axons. White matter is made up of axon. White matter is outside. White matter is outside, and the gray matter is inside the medulla oblongata. Gray matter is inside the medulla oblongata, and its activity is to connect the spinal cord. From here only the spinal cord is connected, children. Here where I am marking, from here only the spinal cord is connected. So if somebody's medulla oblongata is cut, then the person will die. This is very, very important part. Why? Because this part, the medulla oblongata, its function is to control the involuntary activities. Means the activities on which we cannot have our direct control, like our internal organs, the visceral organs, the internal organs like lungs. It helps in breathing. Medulla oblongata helps in breathing. It helps in swallowing the food. That is a peristaltic movement. It helps our heart beatings. So whatever the internal organs are there, visceral organs, the internal organs, visceral organs are also called as internal organs. They are controlled by the medulla oblongata. Hope it is clear. Let us talk about next, spinal cord. See children, it is extending from the spinal cord is extending from medulla oblongata. So whatever the medulla oblongata was there, from the medulla oblongata, spinal cord is extended. From there only the spinal cord is connected. So spinal cord is protected by vertebral column. You can see here vertebral columns are there. You can see if you draw these portions, here you can see these are the vertebral columns. These are the vertebral columns. Inside the vertebral columns, the spinal cord is there, as you can see here in this diagram. This yellow color portion is spinal cord. Okay, this yellow color portion is spinal cord. You can see here, this is spinal cord. So whatever the spinal cord is there, it is protected by the vertebral column, and the same cerebrospinal fluid which was in the meninges of the brain, same cerebrospinal fluid is also present over here. Okay, here also the meninges layers are there. These meninges layers are also here. Also the meninges layers are there, and these meninges layers, they are also protecting the brain. They are protecting the spinal cord. Okay, so whatever the spinal cord is there, it is protected by the vertebral column as well as the cerebrospinal fluid around it. So whatever the spinal cord is there, if you cut a spinal cord horizontally like this, if you cut, so you can see this diagram. What it is showing? It is showing a H shape. You can see here H shape. This is H shape. Hope it is clear. So whatever the spinal cord is there, if it is cut horizontally, it is having H shape. The spinal cord is having H shape if it is cut horizontally. The cross cut section is having H shape. Okay, and what is the speciality of this spinal cord? That the outer matter is white matter. And the inner matter is gray matter. You know white matter and gray matter are made up of, white matter is made up of axon and the gray matter is made up of cyton, that is the cell body. Okay, now let us talk about that whatever the spinal cord is there, it is a bunch of sensory and motor neurons. So whatever the spinal cord is there, it is containing the bunch of sensory neurons as well as motor neurons going through it. Spinal cord controls the impulses going and coming from the brain. Whatever the brain is there, going to the brain and coming from the brain, these impulses are controlled by the spinal cord. Going and coming impulses are controlled by the spinal cord. It controls reflex activities, reflex actions, quick spontaneous actions. What is reflex action? Quick spontaneous action, very quick spontaneous action done without using the brain. It is taken, this quick spontaneous action, this is done without using the brain. It is done by the help of spinal cord. Okay, so whatever the reflex activities are there and involuntary activities are there, they are done by the help of spinal cord. Hope it is clear. Okay, hope it is clear. So children, hope you people are understanding and you are at your home, you are safe, you are healthy, you are taking care of yourself as well as your parents. Especially you should take care of the elderly people, that is your grandparents. You may be washing your hands after the fixed interval of time. You may be washing your hands after fixed interval of time. You may be covering your face while you are sneezing. You are maintaining a social distance with the people. You are staying at home. You are staying safe. Meanwhile, children, keep on studying. Take on these notes. Take down the notes. If you have any of the questions, you can comment below. Meanwhile, thank you, children.